Welcome to this episode of A Real Change TV. Aloha, it's Sandi Krakowski broadcasting episode number 12 from Maui. Grab your pen and paper. This is a continuation of episode number 11, where we were talking about the right way to recommend experts, how to avoid becoming a part of the prostitution ring that exists in internet marketing, and how to build a newsletter that people not only read, but they consume. Write that down. The first thing that you want people to do with your newsletter is not to just read it. Because the fact is that sometimes people read newsletters and they skim and they browse. You want them to ravenously consume it, highlight it, print it. Here's an action step number 2. Write in your newsletter, grab a pen and paper, write in your newsletter, highlight this, circle this, don't forget this. If you direct people to take notes from your newsletter, they're more likely to do so. Action step number 3, how to appropriately recommend experts. As we spend an entire episode in episode number 11 reminding you that you want to be really careful that you're not constantly mentioning a ton of experts, so now you disappear and people aren't coming back to you as the go-to source because, quite frankly, you've recommended so many people they have no idea who the expert is you're recommending. You want to make sure in a newsletter that you have consistent content more than just a ton of content. About 4 or 5 years ago, large companies were built on bringing a ton of content out there. I mean, they would pitch you 3-4 times a day. There were articles 3-4 times a day. And I'm here to tell you, one said billionaire even retired from that model because, not because he got old, but because he knew that the social media culture of interacting with people live authentically and doing it consistently was not going to meet very well his newsletter model. Here's the deal. You want to make sure that in direct response marketing, consistency, communication, and having relationship with people is where you're focused. When you're publishing a newsletter, it's great to recommend other experts, but I highly recommend if you're a coach, they be your students. I recommend if you have people in-house, they're your staff. Make sure that they're people who mirror your model. Experts must mirror your model. Another big mistake that people make is being the only voice on their website. Major mistake as well, because it looks like a big old fat ego trip. This is why we have PJ McClure, and we recommend Angela Brooks, and Bill Glazer is a reputable resource that I always recommend to my high-level clients. You'll see that when I do recommend an expert, that it's consistent and it's regular, and here's the key, it's always mirroring our model. When you publish a newsletter, we've already talked about Monday and Thursday before 6 a.m. Eastern being the time of distribution. I highly recommend if you're going to add some experts that you take Monday and Thursday, or you at least take Monday and Wednesday, and maybe have a periodic expert every couple Thursdays. Make sure that you filter a couple other different tools periodically throughout the month so that your expert content is not being greater than your content. You want to become the go-to source that people go to, where they turn when they ask a question. And my friends, that doesn't happen accidentally. That doesn't happen because you get one big gig and that somebody shares your list and boom, your whole business blows up. That's a huge delusion. I have never built a big business, and we're now on company number 11, because one person recommended me and boom, my business grew up. The thing is that consistency, communication and relationship. And then if somebody recommends me, it's in alignment with what we're already doing. The trust factor is key. Publish your newsletter where an expert will be featured, say, maybe 2 or 3 times a month, but you are still the predominant force in that business. Now, our Emerald newsletter, you might be saying, well, Sandi, you're there 3 or 4 of the 20 pages and you have a lot of other people. Exactly. They're all my students or people that I've been recommending for a long time who are a part of either our staff, our coaching program, or our entire model. Fact of the matter is, however, I'm still in the forefront because this is the thing that people come to a real change for. My 15-year track record of building 11 businesses, all of which went over 6 figures, many went over 7, and one went over 8. So make sure action step number 1, you stay as the primary focus. Number 2, any expert you recommend mirrors your message. And number 3, my friends, I can't say it enough, consistency, regular content, regular relationship, not where you just show up once a month and that's the only time they get access to the almighty expert, but you're here regularly, consistently and regularly. That's how you build a long-term business. I love all of you. I believe in your dreams. Aloha and have a great day. Bye-bye.